The death toll from Venezuela's twin earthquakes has climbed to 1,450, National Assembly President Jorge Rodriguez confirmed on Sunday. At a press conference in Caracas, Rodriguez called the disaster the most brutal natural catastrophe in the country's history. He said more than 3,100 people were injured and over 12,700 affected, with 774 buildings damaged, 189 of them destroyed, along with hospitals and vital infrastructure. Authorities report nearly 74,000 families have received assistance, including over 7 million kilograms of food. More than 12,000 citizens have been treated at health centers and field hospitals, while 527 injured were transferred to Caracas. International support includes 2,624 foreign rescuers, 137 search dogs, and 84 tons of equipment. Officials say 512 aftershocks have been recorded as rescue and recovery efforts continue. Iraq says it is ready to host a landmark regional meeting bringing together Gulf states, Iran and Iraq to discuss security, stability and economic cooperation. Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein made the announcement Sunday in Baghdad alongside his Iranian counterpart Abbas Araghchi. Hussein said the talks would revive the idea of dialogue among the 8 countries, stressing that peace and protection must be ensured by citizens of the region. He also urged progress on US-Iran understandings to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and lift restrictions on Iran. Araghchi welcomes the proposal, affirming Tehran's readiness to cooperate with Baghdad. The remarks follow the June 17 US-Iran Memorandum of Understanding establishing a ceasefire with talks in Switzerland aimed at reaching a final agreement. Iran's Revolutionary Guard IRGC has warned it will respond far more forcefully to any future U.S. hostilities. Spokesperson Hossein Mohabi called Washington the enemy in a televised interview Sunday, accusing it of breaking covenants and being untrustworthy. His remarks followed 2 consecutive rounds of U.S. strikes on Iranian targets near the Strait of Hormuz, which CENTCOM said hit surveillance, air defense and drone facilities. The IRGC claimed its naval and air forces retaliated with joint strikes on U.S. military sites in Kuwait and Bahrain. It warned that any violating a ship in the Strait of Hormuz will now be dealt with more decisively. The escalation comes despite a June 17 Memorandum of Understanding between Washington and Tehran setting out a ceasefire framework with talks in Switzerland aimed at reaching a final agreement. Senegal's powerful PASTEF party is urging lawmakers to back its constitutional reform aimed at curbing presidential powers. General Secretary Ayib Dafes said Sunday the proposal seeks to strengthen the rule of law and restore balance among institutions, noting President Bassirou Diomaye Faye himself pledged to reduce hyper-presidentialism. With 130 seats in the 165-member National Assembly, PASTEF is expected to secure passage when the vote takes place Monday. The move comes amid a powerful struggle between President Faye and former Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko, who was dismissed in May but later elected Speaker of Parliament. PASTEF is not part of the current government, led by Amadou Al-Aminou Lo, after Faye accused Sonko of failing to address Senegal's debt crisis. Burkina Faso's decision to sever diplomatic ties with France is being hailed in Ouagadougou as a step toward independence and sovereignty. Government spokesperson Pingdwende Gilbert Ouedraogo announced the move Friday, accusing Paris of interference and neocolonial ambitions. He stressed the break applies only to diplomatic relations, not cultural or social ties between the Burkinabe and French people. Meanwhile, political analyst Labidi Naba has described the split as genuine liberation from decades of illusory aid, while activist Nibel Nanou argued France will feel the economic impact more than Burkina Faso as other European partners step in. Relations have deteriorated since Captain Ibrahim Traoré took over power in 2022. French troops were expelled in 2023, diplomats removed, and media outlets suspended. France has called the decision hostile and baseless while reviewing reciprocal measures. Russian President Vladimir Putin says Russia has begun tapping into its fuel reserves, but petrol stocks remain steady compared to last year. Speaking at a meeting with government officials and oil executives Sunday, Putin noted reserves currently stand at 1.7 million tons, only a slight 4% decrease. He stressed the need for measured and prudent management. The Energy Ministry confirmed a temporary ban on petrol and jet fuel exports to protect domestic consumers, while a full ban on diesel exports is under discussion. The meeting on fuel supplies to Russian regions was attended by senior officials including First Deputy Prime Minister Denis Manturov and Defense Minister Andrei Belousov. U.S. sanctions on Rwanda's Gazabo gold refinery have sparked mixed reactions in Kinshasa, with Congolese political and civil society leaders saying the move pressures the war economy fueling conflict in eastern DRC. Washington accuses the refinery of moving gold from M23 controlled areas in South Kivu to Kigali, citing at least 60 kilograms transferred earlier this year. The sanctions freeze U.S.-linked assets and bar American firms from doing business with those involved. Civil society leader Jonas Chombela welcomed the move but warned sanctions alone won't secure Congo, stressing the country must solve its own security challenges. UDPS party executive Jean-Baptiste Bouillona called for stronger action against Rwanda's leadership, saying Congolese people want to see real consequences. The measures support the U.S.-brokered Washington Accords for Peace and Prosperity signed last December and follow earlier sanctions on Rwanda's military. Kigali denies backing M23 and has criticized U.S. actions as biased. Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko met Chinese President Xi Jinping in Beijing Monday, with both leaders hailing relations at an all-time high. Speaking at the Dayutai State Guest House, Xi described China and Belarus as good friends, saying their comprehensive strategic partnership has withstood global turbulence and continues to grow stronger. He pledged deeper exchanges on issues of mutual interest. Lukashenko, for his part, noted he had come to Beijing directly from talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin in the Moscow region, underscoring Belarus's close coordination with both Moscow and Beijing. The third edition of the 100 Most Notable African Summit brought award winners, diplomats and business leaders together in Marrakesh Saturday evening, setting out ambitious hopes for the continent's future. Footage showed recipients honored on stage during the gala dinner. Chairman Kingsley Amafibe declared Africa is not just the future, but the present now, highlighting Morocco as a gateway connecting Africa to the world. Rwanda's ambassador, Kazimbaya Shakila Umotoni, urged closer cooperation to meet citizens' aspirations, while Aisha Hanan Buhari emphasized youth and women-led collaboration as a driver of change. Held at the Movenpick Hotel from June 26 to 29, the summit gathers African leaders, entrepreneurs, and change-makers to discuss investment, cooperation, and the continent's next stage of growth. Hezbollah held a mass rally in Nabatea, southern Lebanon Sunday to honor victims of the ongoing conflict with Israel. Footage showed mourners carrying coffins draped in Hezbollah flags, with 16 bodies buried and 62 people honored, including fighters and civilians. Chants of defiance echoed through the procession. The event comes after a U.S.-brokered framework agreement set out plans for the Lebanese military to take control of southern areas, with Israeli forces scheduled to withdraw in stages once Hezbollah infrastructure is dismantled. Hezbollah has rejected the deal as a humiliation, warning that attempts to disarm the group could spark civil conflict. Reports say the proposed buffer zone would cover about 8% of Lebanon's territory.